everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, back again on the eve of the biggest game of the season tomorrow at St James's Park. It is Newcastle United versus Arsenal, the second leg of the semi-final. Cannot wait for this one. It is massive. League form goes out of the window. All the norms, the normal rules and everything else are put to one side. Yes, Arsenal have hit amazing form at the best possible time for them. They're absolutely destroyed and took apart Manchester City at the weekend. Their confidence will no doubt be up. Their mojo will no doubt be up. But if we can replicate the sort of performance that we got in the first leg, where we've still got a 2-0 lead from, it's half-time obviously in the game really. If we can replicate that sort of performance, you know, take our chances, get the free kicks, get the luck, there's no reason why we can't get another victory on the night. You know, it's a place that I don't think Arteta likes to come to. It'll be a game of chess. I'm expecting a much different game to that's gone by at the weekend. I think the weekend's game was possibly a bit of a distraction. You know, it's the old Lord Mayor's show type thing, and all eyes on Wednesday, thoughts about reaching Wembley and everything. No doubt played a role. It's not the only reason why it went tits up at the weekend. I'll touch upon that in a minute, but it played a factor. I've no doubt about it. And the players will be really, really up for this game. I think the fans, the atmosphere will be spot on. The atmosphere, it wasn't great again at the weekend, and that's another contributing factor in a little bit of an iffy time recently at home. But I've no doubt tomorrow it'll be absolutely bouncing. Excitement, anticipation, a bit of nervousness. But let's just hope that we do everything opposite to what we did at the weekend. So we need a fast start. We need the intensity. We need to be pressing as a unit. We need to be able to make passes in between, you know, teammates. We need to get crosses in. We need to get more shots away. We need to be careful. We need to pick our chances. It's going to be probably a lot of Arsenal possession. And it's going to be on us to counter-attack with pace, with purpose. Not fuck around, not gift them chances, not fluff our lines, anything like that. Everything needs to go to plan on this game, and I've no doubt about it. I still think that we will get it done. We will get the result that we need to. I don't think there's going to be a great lot of goals in it. Famous last words. I'm touching wood, whatever I can, to be able to say that. But you know, previous encounters would suggest that there isn't going to be a load of goals in it. 1, 2 goals going to be floating around. If Newcastle United can get the first goal, it's a big if, but if we can, then that puts major pressure on them, and it's a kick in the knackers, and it probably gets them thinking about league campaigns and FA Cups and all the other sort of things that they're still in. So yeah, first goal huge. Mentality has to be right from the very first second all the way through, and it's the same in the second half. You can't have a 5-minute period and spelling the game after the second half where you're still in the dressing rooms mentally, because these lot can punish you in a second. So it's imperative that the concentration levels are there from the absolute very first to the very last minute, you know, of the game. Keep it tight. Don't give them anything. Try and frustrate them. And from there, pardon for that, as we were busy there, getting a phone call in at the same time. It's all go at the moment, isn't it? It's all bloody go. But yeah, if we can frustrate them, get to half time, get our noses in front, or it's level still, the pressure ramps up on them, and they've really, really got to go hell for leather at some point in the second half. Hopefully that leaves them a little bit more open when it comes to the second period of the game, and then we can really, really look to take advantage, try and nick a goal, and to put the game to rest. It's funny, this game, because I remember 2 years ago for the Southampton game, I was nervous, but not to this degree, despite the fact that we had a more slender lead from the first leg. You know, that time around. But this time around, I think it's because of the competition, the history, the needle that we've got with Arteta and Arsenal, and how much whinging and bitching and complaining they do, the rub they get off the referees more times than not, and everything else. It does give you that nervousness, and I think there's going to be that nervous energy in the crowd. But I think for everybody, they've just got to sing all the way through. every single person inside the stadium. That's not been the case recently. Certainly sat around us, there's some who do, and there's some who literally just don't for the entire 90 minutes. But I think for this game, it's such an amazing opportunity, not only to get to a Wembley final, not only the chance to right the wrongs from the previous final, which I still kick myself because I think we should have won that game. We really, really should have. But chance to get through to Wembley, chance to potentially win a cup, and also in doing so, automatically, qualifying for Europe as well, which is key, absolutely key to be able to keep our main players, your Isaks, your Brunos of the world. We've had a transfer window again, which, because the club's had the hands tied behind the back, hasn't been able to show much ambition from the club side. You've got players who have got short careers, getting lots of attention and admiring, glances from other clubs. Now, factor in everything else, we need to be able to offer the European football. If we can win a cup, we've got European football next season. It strengthens our hand greatly to keep your Isaks of the world. If we haven't got a cup, if we haven't got European football, then clearly that would weaken our hand. And with ambitious players getting attention from all over the place, with big price tags and people willing to pay the big price tags, it could have a major factor on how our summer goes and how next season looks. Whether it's a complete, literally rebuild, or whether it's just literally adding a few to and going again. So massive opportunity on so many fronts. Can win a cup, can get back into Europe, can help to retain our better players. So everything crossed for tomorrow night. Injury wise, Joe Linton, he's the major doubt. Obviously, we still without the likes of Jamal Lascelles still. Harvey Barnes is still another couple of weeks off. But yeah, the big news, the big worry is around Joe Linton. We've all seen the pictures of him wearing the leg brace. That wasn't filling everybody with great confidence, was it? But look, at the end of the day, we've got players who are capable of coming in and doing a job. You've got Miley, you've got Longstaff, you've got Willock. Willock will be chomping at the bit, especially against his old team, to be able to get in there and help see us through to get to the final. So he has a point to prove. He wants to ruffle a few feathers, prove a point as well. So I think if Joe Linton fails the fitness test, there are others who can come in. Longstaff clearly has a record in the semi-final. He scored a brace last time out, so perhaps he could come in and do a job. Miley is absolutely and utterly fucking class. He needs minutes, he needs games. Could this be the one? He's dealt with pressurised situations before, the big occasion. You think of the Champions League last season, PSG and all. He can deal with the pressure. I have no problems, no worries in saying that whatsoever. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that Joe Linton will pass this fitness test based upon what Eddie Howe said today in the press conference anyway. So, again, I think a midfield three will remain the midfield three. And if they're playing to the very, very best, then Newcastle United have got every opportunity and every chance to be able to get a positive result tomorrow. And that's the thing for us. It's just about playing to our potential. Play to your potential, play to your best, and we can give anybody a game at home, but there's no doubt it's been a distraction, hasn't it? It has been a distraction, but no excuses at the weekend. Not good enough for whatever reason. Beaten by the better side. I said it against Bournemouth, and they truly were the better side. I thought Fulham were good at the low block, good at shithousing, taking the piss, taking advantage. They were assisted again by the referee. Let's hope we get somebody decent and competent for the game tomorrow, because the last thing that you want to be talking about is the bastard referees. But they literally spend so much time trying to get all the attention, all the spotlight on themselves, and they end up just ruining it as a spectacle and everything. So a response is needed from the weekend. It's a huge game. It's more important for us, I think, than for them. They're going to have a large away following in this game as well. So again, it's even more crucial to make as much noise as possible, round them lot off, and then book our place at Wembley, and it'll be absolutely fucking immense. It'll be great afterwards if we can do that. Regarding transfers, I'll touch on the transfer window a little bit. I mean, it was just a Monday yesterday for us as I'm recording this, because, I mean, there was no chance of us signing anybody at all, was there? Let's be totally 1,000% honest. It's been that way all of the window. Eddie's touched upon it today in his press conference. He said it's basically just a case of getting things in order for brighter times ahead. The PSR thing, we won't have to worry about that going forward as much. We've satisfied any potential issues with regards to PSR, and we've strengthened so that we've got the ability to be able to act. And if you cast your minds back to what Nottingham Forest did before with regards to Elliot Anderson, we are in a position where we could move earlier if we need to take any advantage of anybody else who's possibly struggling with the PSR deadline looming at the end of June, I think it is. So it strengthens us. We can move on getting players in. We've got the flexibility. We've got the headroom in the PSR calculations now. It also means that another year drops off with regards, again, the PSR calculation period. So again, things looking better from everybody that's in the know. Those who do all of these sort of football finance are all saying that by doing this now, the short-term pain now of not signing anybody, of selling players, of creating headroom, it is going to massively benefit the overall picture when it comes to PSR, FFP, and or whatever replaces it come the summer. It's going to make things a lot better come the summer for Newcastle United. So it's not ideal, you know. We're losing players who haven't played that much, to be fair. 14 appearances for Lloyd Kelly, a handful of appearances this season for the likes of Miggy. We've moved players on, and we have to get used to this sort of setup of trading, and it's that trading that they want you to do under this FFP, PSR bollocks. You know, this is what they're wanting you to do. We've done some of that. It's going to create the headroom, and we're going to be able to replace these players, to improve the squad, and to make things better going forward. You know, from the summer onwards. It's frustrating to lose players, of course it is, but like I said, they've not played that many games, and I do think that the business that they've done, although from a football side you might stand there and scratch your head a little bit, from a business side, a player comes in. He's acted as cover for whilst Botman's been injured, and we've sold him on for a £20 million profit, and there's extra future incentives built into the deal as well. It is unbelievable business. It really is. So from the financial side, from the business side, it makes massive sense. No doubt Eddie Howe's possibly a little bit frustrated. He's only had him for a period of time, but like I touched upon before, he's covered for Sven Botman being out. He's on big wages, so we've cleared some big wages off. You know, him and Miggy is probably the best part of £200,000 per week cleared off. So again, every bit like that under these PSR rules does really help. But yeah, we've moved those players out. We've made good money on them, and that money is there. It's ready to go, and it creates the extra headroom. Because remember, sales, profit, and in this occasion does work like pure profit, even though they're not academy players. You sell for £25 million. That goes straight in onto the accounts straight away. But when you're buying a player, of course, if you're buying a player for £80 million, the process to work it all out is like, if it's a 4-year contract, that £80 million shows up as £20 million each season across those 4 seasons. So it's all ridiculously complex. And I was saying yesterday, personally, I miss the days of just going on to CFAX for my football news and gossip, and just going to games. I missed 4-4-2. I missed 2 strikers up top, wingers who just got down and crossed the ball in. You know, simpler times when it wasn't all about the finance. It's not even about, I suppose it's not even really about the finance anymore, because if it was down to pure financial muscle, we would be winning everything. We obviously got the world's richest owners, but unfortunately that means a diddly squat, because they can't use that money. It's all about commercially what we can bring in. It's all about trading. So huge onus on the commercial team to do their side of things, and huge onus on the club to try and continue to churn players in the Miggy sort of situation, not let players go out of contract. So the players who are out of contract next year, we need to be thinking about now. Do we need to keep them? Do we not? Do we need to be able to trade them and sell them off to bring in more money to be able to get the headroom? It's a constant plate spinning thing, you know, from what I can see and what I can understand. It is literally like having, you know, when you go to the circus and you see all them the poles, don't you? And the people spinning the plates, and they've got to try and keep all of them spinning all at once. It's that type of job. It's crazy. It's mental. I think it's a bunch of stupid rules, to be honest. I think they need to be ditched. And top and bottom of it, when Manchester City are spending, what, £180 million, and the rest of the league combined is spending £180 million, it's got to tell you that the rules are absolutely rotten. The deadline day wasn't a patch of what it used to be. Less deals getting done, less money being spent, less money getting pumped into the football ecosystem, which means, in essence as well, less money that is falling down, you know, through the leagues, through the, you know, through the football pyramid and stuff like that. It's going to have massive knock-on effects, but it just seems the numpties at the top can't see the end of the nose, never mind anything else. So, yeah. Things will change, I've no doubt about it. Things will have to change because this just can't go on. You're upsetting some of the bigger clubs as well. You know, the cartel clubs aren't even particularly happy about what's going on. Your Man United, look at them, absolutely in all sorts of issues and problems, but they cannot spend, not because they can't get all of the cash or the capital. I'm sure that they can. But it comes down to PSR calculations and PSR headroom and so on and so forth. Even them, though, they're spending £30 million on a fucking left wing back. So, you know, it's madness. It has been frustrating. And it's difficult when the news is pretty negative and pretty down about transfers and pretty negative about results, to be able to try and bring some balance to the pages and stuff like that. It is difficult to be able to do, because there has been more probably negative news than there has been positive. But that's because there's been more negative than positive news coming out of the football club recently. So, you know, you can only work with what you're sort of given at the end of the day. On Magpie 24/7, we do try to balance it out. We'll try and find a different slant, a different perspective. And we do try and, you know, push that as much as possible. But, you know, we are limited to a certain degree to what's out there. What is the current news about the club? How are the current results going? So to me, it's just about being real and true as a real and true fan about the current situation. But que sera, people will have a go at me all day long. But I'm getting a little bit used to it now, bit by bit. But yeah, I'll leave it there on that one. I am massively looking forward though to tomorrow's game. And I just hope that we can get the result, get a draw, get a victory, and see us through to Wembley. Because what this club deserves and needs and wants more than anything regarding transfer windows, PSR calculations, new signings, anything, the team, the club deserve some success, deserve a trophy. And if this is to be the first one is the most difficult to get. You know, even look back at the Alex Ferguson Man United days. He even said it, the first one was the most difficult. Once you've cracked that, cracked the culture, once you've installed that belief, you know, in amongst the fan base and in amongst the players, it can literally just catch a light. And that is what I am hoping is going to happen to our club. I've waited so long. I remember being a kid at school. It's going to be next season. It's going to be next season. You know, when we had Keegan back in the days, it was always a thought of it's going to happen. The run, this dreadful run that we were on domestically, you know, without winning a trophy, you always felt it was going to end sooner rather than later. And now, you know, I've got kids myself. I've got kids in secondary school myself, and I'm like, I'm still waiting for that trophy. I'm still every game, say at the moment it's taking about bloody 4 hours to get up, 4 hours to get back down for every single home game. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just desperate to be able to see that first trophy, that first step. Special times. Cannot wait until that happens, and the party afterwards as well is going to be absolutely and utterly off the fucking planet. Cannot wait. Happy days. Reasons to be positive. Let's beat Arsenal. I am seriously thinking that we're going to get the job done. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Newcastle tomorrow. That will see us through to the final. That's confidence for you. I don't care who scores. It can go in if somebody's asked. It can be 2 own goals as far as I'm concerned. But as long as we make that final, it's going to be a difficult one no matter who that we go up against. But as we showed in the first leg, we can beat any team. We've beaten Chelsea in this year's competitions. We've already beaten Arsenal. If we can do that again, heading into a final, you've got to be able to take on anybody. You've got to be able to beat the best, to be the best, and you've got to be in it to win it. And I certainly hope that Newcastle United are in it to win it after the end of tomorrow's game. So yeah, everything crossed. Subscribe to the Magpie 24/7 YouTube channel if you haven't checked out Ian's videos. He's on the channel now, doing regular content, looking into different aspects of the club. He's doing a sell, a keep, a buy, loan out type video that's up at the moment. He's also done some other videos as well, and he's also going to be doing one today. I think as I record this one, he's recording one to come out in a couple of days' time, looking at who we might target transfer wise in the summer, because we haven't had enough transfers and all that sort of thing after the last month. He's looking forward positively. I'm choking. But he's looking forward positively, not because I'm choking, but he's looking at transfers, and he's looking forward and trying to preview what he expects to be a busy summer. I think we all expect it to be a busy summer with players out of contract, with the squad needing rebalancing. There's players that need to go out, there's players that need to come in. The squad needs to be balanced. We need to have cover for all areas. 2 right wingers, 2 free strikers. We need to have not as many goalkeepers, and then we need to have cover all over the place. But I'm going to leave it there because literally I'm like choking. So I'll leave the video there. Subscribe to Magpie 24/7, especially because I'm joking. I don't know if I mentioned that. Subscribe to the channel and the rest of our socials. And in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned. Away the lads, get to the final, and I'll speak to you later.